Welcome inside the Treehouse. It is time to leave your worries outside and join me, Dan O'Malley, Trey Trenholm, and Raj Sharma. Have some fun on a Friday, but before we get to all the fun, we also want to mention this actually is fun as well. Make sure you head out to the Dallas Comedy Club this weekend and check out James Camacho at the Dallas Comedy Club. Tickets and show info, dallas-comedyclub.com. That's dallas-comedyclub.com. Raj, what's that phone number again? I know it's 214-814.
1980.
Man, so close.
I know.
214-814-1980 for ticket info and all show information at the Dallas Comedy Club. Your new home for funny in DFW. The Dallas Comedy Club funny happens here. And also, additional fun before we get to Treehouse fun is, let me just take a sip of this coffee beverage here out of this cup of the villa I'm staying in right now. I'm trying to get a Treehouse discount on the stay here.
Can you, when you're done taking a sip out of that beautiful cup, can you move it a little closer to the camera so it's got a little bit of a glare? So
yeah, the writing is reflective.
Uh-huh.
That is the, how do I say it? Capic. I'm going to go with the Capic Villas.
Capic Villas.
Yeah, so if you want someplace nice to stay on St. John, United States Virgin Islands, passport not needed, but it is recommended if you want to take some boat trips to the British Virgin Islands. The Capic Villas, Kapok. And they even have cups in your rooms that you can use. And if you ask really nicely, they might point out which house is Kenny Chesney's that you can see from the balcony here.
Oh, wow.
Wow. Very fancy.
I'm a baller, Trey. I'm not sure if you knew that.
That's the first thing I think of.
In reality, so in North Texas, I used to be somebody. I used to be on the radio and stuff, and people might occasionally recognize me and go, "Hey, aren't you Dan Lewis?" I say, "No, I'm the other Dan." But moving to the Virgin Islands, my wife is the big shot here. So she's the one that has the hookups to get us the place to stay, because technically right now we're homeless. So whenever someone tells you, kids, not to follow your dreams, because you may end up homeless, it might be true, but it may just be for a short period of time.
I would also say don't listen to my mom.
Much like Paul Newman, Raj, if your mom is having conversations with people,
yeah,
they should listen.
She's making a trek.
So I'm doing that tongue in cheek. The reality is we own a house on St. Thomas that we're renting out because we're moving to St. John so Tara can be closer to her business and not spend half her life on a ferry going between the islands. So we are just waiting for our next place to be finished getting ready for us to move in. So we're just in between places at the moment.
Gotcha.
It is an awkward time though for my high school reunion, which is happening this weekend. So my excuse for not going has nothing to do with when someone says, "So where do you live now?" I'm like, "Well, technically I'm homeless, but."
Hilarious. Like, you're gonna see that they're gonna do some like weird white guilt fundraiser for you, like at the reunion. He needs a home. He was
we really
on the radio.
feel bad for Dan. He's
Sarah McLaughlin's going to be playing.
It seems like he's. What's that, Trey?
Sarah McLaughlin's going to be playing in the background.
Yeah, it's going to be me, muddy and wet, just looking sad as hell.
Kenny Chesney's house behind you.
Yeah.
With a Venmo QR code next to my face.
For only $2.99 a day, you too can save an O'Malley.
Or you can just do it at patreon.com/treehouse on air.
Nice.
Fun, dude. Nice. Well done.
Believe me, I know how to slip in a plug. I did radio for 24 years in DFW.
if you would have thrown in a Bible verse, you would have been like close to being a televangelist. I was like, yeah, that's my boy.
John 3:16. I typically forget what it is, but I know it.
For God so
Is-
loved the world that he gave his only begotten son.
See, for me, it's I always think wrongly that it's I can do anything through him.
No,
I think that's a different verse, or it
Yeah, I
might
like
just been on a button I saw at a rally somewhere.
I like how the Hindu guy just told you what that verse was.
Hang on, I got to take a sip of my coffee, of my Plugola coffee, my favorite flavor.
Capic Villas, bringing you coffee since 1984.
I'm surprised they haven't marketed that at the Eagle.
What's that? Live in our studios?
Plugola coffee.
Plugola was our thing. You can only let them take so much from you, Trey. You may take the station, you may take the studio, but I'm taking all the Plugola with me.
Well, clearly they found more.
Yeah.
What is it? John 3:16? Oh no, that's that again. I'm thinking it was the I can do anything, like anything is possible through him, but no, that's the other one.
For God so loved the earth that he gave his only begotten son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's pretty sad that you know that, Raj, better than I do.
I know.
That's a reason why I've made I would have made an absolutely terrible Christian, is because I get all my Bible verses mixed up. It's always impressive to me when someone's able to like just spit out the memorized verses.
Yeah. Well,
Especially when they do it with actual, feeling and passion, as opposed to just doing it because they happen to memorize it and they're just trying to make money.
Yeah, I went to Christian school Christian private school for a few years, and they were like, "You need to know these, or we're gonna paddle you." And so that was the option. It was like corporal punishment. And then I remember they were like, "Well, you memorized your verses and the chapters and all that. Do you want to be saved?" And I was like, that was second grade, I think, and I was like, "From what?" And
Especially
like,
if they're asking that question with the paddle hanging over their shoulder,
holding it in her hand.
Oh, then yes, you absolutely do want to be saved. So
no, I said, can you call my mom, because I don't think I don't think I can make that decision without an adult, and they didn't have anything to say. So I got a free pass on that one.
Good on you.
Never went back to that school after that day.
See, I think I would have survived that, because had they said the same thing to me, because they kind of did, because I went to Catholic school for 4th and 5th grade.
Yeah.
Had they had that same question for me, it would have been sort of like, and I see the paddle, I would then be judging the individual wielding the paddle and
yes,
engaging them next to my mother. Because if they look like they can't swing it anywhere near that my mother could, then bring it on. Like, you can beat me till the sun goes down. I'll be fine.
No,
I grew up being paddle conditioned by my mom.
Yeah, if we're going about like swinging technique, if I looked at that lady, I'm like, unless she was Babe Ruth, she wouldn't come close to my mom. Like my mom knew which way you would dodge.
She knew to follow the curveball and dump it into right center.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is kind of a weird thing. I've got the high school reunion is this weekend, and I hesitate to say which one it is, but I feel better about saying which one it is, on the other hand, because you two are older than I am. So
yeah, I just had my 30th that I didn't go to.
And this weekend is my 25th, which I'm clearly not going to, because I'm not even anywhere near Texas to attend it, let alone DFW. But it is a weird thing when you start hitting these milestone reunions, because you start thinking, wow, I'm old. And I feel old in my bones. But in my heart, I still feel like I'm in my 20s somehow.
Yeah, I talked about this on stage the other day. In my head, I'm 26. And my body is about, like, with my knees and all that, I'm about 70.
Mm-hmm.
But my brain goes, we can still do stuff. And I'm like, and I talk to it. I'm like, what can we do? It's like, you want to jump? You want to play some pickup basketball? Do it. And then my body goes, don't listen to that son of a bitch. He will get us hurt.
Yeah. I had one of those moments yesterday when I bent down to try to pick up a box off the floor.
Yeah.
And I felt that spot in my low back that has been a problem, ironically, Raj, since I was 26. And as soon as I started to lift it, I felt that spot in my back, and I said, "Nope, not going to happen."
I knew it, I knew the moment I was old when my knee was hurting, and I said, I think there might be rain today.
When you start to trust your joints more than a meteorologist.
Yeah, but it is a scientific thing. The barometric pressure in the air drops, and if you have any kind of arthritis or any kind of, bursitis or whatever, it will act up because the pressure is. I'm just saying that's why.
If that is true, then why doesn't Pete Delkus do the joint report? Like you can have the whatever special radars, you can have the the tornado truck or whatever it is that I forget that NBC5 has. When really all they need to do is just send an X-ray machine to Raj's house, and then we'll all know what's going to happen.
I'm just saying, if you had the joint report on the weather, you're going to have a whole different demographic of people tuning in for the weather that day.
Yeah, so like in DFW, the joint report might be kind of mixed between those with early onset osteoporosis and marijuana. Whereas here, where I am, the joint report would be a predominant marijuana-based thing. Like I see it right over here, right there. I see like 4 plants.
Yeah, I would pay. We have to do if one day we'll do another Treehouse, the joint report, and let's just all get high and read the news.
I think people think that's how we do it already.
We should. That would be awesome. First of all, I'd love to see either one of you high. That would be hilarious. Trey just seems to me like he would just get quiet, and then Dan seemed like he would just get the giggles.
I did smoke a little a few months back.
Nice.
And I had the giggles for about 5-10 minutes. Huh? But in Dan fashion, I can't do anything just a little bit. Like I have to do the whole thing. So like I was like when I smoked, it was like I'm not going to smoke just one. I'm going to smoke that entire carton. When I'm going to drink, I'm going to drink the entire drink. It seems odd to me to leave anything in the glass, especially if I paid for it. I'm going to get my money's worth.
Right.
And then the joint we got from Sam, our weed guy. I say our weed guy. We bought from him once, but we know his name. So Sam gave us a joint, which is we paid for it. But we got the joint from Sam, and I basically smoked all of it myself in about 10 or 12 minutes.
Oh, no.
Yeah. So I had the giggles for about 10 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I was super sick for the next 2-3 hours.
Rookie.
Yeah. Yeah.
I watched my ex-wife OD on marijuana. It was edible. We're in California, and we go to a dispensary, and they're very, very powerful edibles. And we got a chocolate bar, and it's clearly written on the bar. It says take 1 square, wait, depending on your usage, wait 30 minutes to an hour and 15 minutes before it kicks in. So she takes the 1 square, and I was like, all right. And I'm timing it, and I just remember going through the apartment and doing other stuff, and I look over, and she's cracked. I see her crack the 2nd square, and I was like, no, you have to wait. She's like, it's not working. I was like, but it's only been 30 minutes. It says 30 minutes, and it also says an hour and 15. So let's wait. Nope. She takes the next one. Right? So that the first one hasn't kicked in. She's now eating this one. And then I don't know what compelled the 3rd and 4th one 30 minutes, basically 30 minutes apart. So everything hit her. And I just remember her, thank God our couch was where it was, but I remember her standing there, and I look over, and I'm pouring myself a drink, and I look over, and her eyes just glassed over, and I'm like, uh-oh. And she falls on, just eyes closed, falls on the couch. And she woke up the next day. I think it was like 15, 16 hours later. Wow. Is when she woke up, and I was like, yeah, I've never seen anybody overdose on marijuana, but I think you are the first case of it. So,
but how did her joints feel?
I just
great till this day.
I just think the next weatherman promotion, whatever, it needs to be that, Delkus is that committed to getting the weather right. And then they go to a scene. It's like from the Karate Kid, and you got Delkus, and then, bring back Dale Hansen and have him sweep the leg.
Wow. So you want okay, how does that work in us knowing what the weather is?
Because that means Delkus will have bad joints, and he'll be able to more reliably tell what weather's coming.
Got it.
I thought they were just going to get high and reenact the Karate Kid. And I'm like, either way, worth the money.
And if anything's going to bring Dale Hansen out of retirement,
yeah,
that'd be it.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
You're listening to the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. Give them a call for your free roof inspection. 833-COOK-DFW. That's 833-COOK-DFW. Or the website, cookdfw.com. For Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration. So in addition to fixing or replacing your roof in a trusted, reliable, quality fashion, if you got some remodeling stuff that needs to happen, they can take care of that as well. Bathrooms, kitchens, all that kind of cool stuff. Doing great work there at Cook DFW Roofing and Restoration, cookdfw.com. Before we get into birthdays, because it is Friday, and into some really silly and stupid news, which is where we thrive, there was one thing you told me, Raj, the other day that troubled me, and that was your high school reunion, which happened recently, actually had an in memoriam section.
At the 20 year, there was an in memoriam. Like there were like the senior pictures of the people that have passed.
Jesus, how many people from your class had already died that at 20 years later they're already doing an Oscar worthy in memoriam?
I think there were 3.
That's it.
I think there were 3 or 4 at the 20 year, and there's been, I think, 4 more since. So if they would have had one this time, if there would have been any planning done for this one, which there was just not. It was so terribly I mean, I wasn't even there, and they had it in Mesquite at a place that used to be a feed store, but is now the feed store. I'm not even making it up. Burned down, and then they rebuilt, and now it's a restaurant. It was outside. With a fajita buffet, and I'm like,
that's not so bad,
really, because it was 96 that day.
Oh, now that is bad.
Yeah, and so I'm like, nah, I'm good. And it was $45, and it got you entrance into the heat, which I didn't think we needed an admission to do that. And then the buffet. There was no, like, it was a cash bar, whatever. Ooh. Like there was, and they didn't do the but I think we've had 7 or 8 people pass.
I think we had, from my graduating class from Lamar, we had, like, I think very soon after graduation, I think there was a girl that died, and then within a year there was a guy I knew who drowned in Lake Arlington, and that was a big deal because that was someone that everyone in the class knew.
Yeah.
But in everything that's been leading up to my 25th reunion, which is, Saturday, I haven't seen anything that said, hey, if you know someone that's died, let us know so we can add them to the in memoriam. I don't think we're having one of those just yet. Yeah,
we had their senior picture framed, and they had candles around it for the 20 year. The 30, like I said, it was at a feed store, so I don't know even if they would have had it. I don't know if it would have been like their senior picture, like in a horseshoe. Like, I don't know how it worked. Like I don't know how it worked. Like
propped up by bags of oats.
Just on bales of hay.
R.I.P.
Didn't even bother to get a pin. They just stuck him in the baling wire, just pinned him in there.
He always loved hay. Like,
It would be interesting. The only reason I think of this is because my high school mascot was Vikings. If
Mhm.
you got sent out the way that your high school mascot was, so like if it was for your high school reunion, you're like, for us, your Vikings, they do a brief Viking funeral service for you. You know, you got like Arlington set the arrow and it hits the boat and sets on fire, and it's all very symbolic.
Yeah.
But Raj, what was your mascot again?
It would have been horrible. We would have been the pirates. So I think we would have just. I don't know how you would do. I don't know what a pirate funeral looks like, but I can just imagine there's just a lot of
Be a lot of pillaging.
a lot of pillaging, a lot of drunk people pillaging.
Yeah, mine could be even worse because it was the Scots.
I feel like now's the proper time that we should just skip to birthdays.
Before we offend a whole group of people.
Yeah, before we offend an entire country. Would really suck though if your mascot was the Bears. All right, today is Friday, November. God, we're already in November. November 3rd, 2023. Birthdays today. I believe she is is this the one that's the billionaire now? Kendall Jenner from the Kardashian clan. She turns 28 today.
Yep. She is the billionaire of the family.
Yeah, she is the one that I would imagine birthdays to Kendall Jenner have to be extra momentous because I forget which birthday of hers. It was 16 or 17, maybe 18 when she got her new face. And when like in so many other families, they'll betroth something or give you something that's important to the family. It could be, some sort of a family heirloom. It could be grandpa's watch. It might be, mom's wedding band. The Kardashians gives you your face.
Yes.
So you can start your branding empire.
Yes. Or
Kim's hand-me-down ass implants.
I thought you were going to say Kim's how-to porn manual.
I mean,
I think mom wrote that.
That's true. That's from mom. Yeah.
It is Kendall Jenner, so she could have gotten dad's evening gown. I don't know how it worked.
It's really not stated enough how giving of a family the Kardashians are. And here's your first rapper.
Are we talking about Tyga or what?
Might be Black China.
Don't be silly. That's your 21st birthday. That's Black China.
Now you have to wait till you're 25 before you get your first athlete. Other birthdays today, Colin Kaepernick, still looking for an NFL job, is 36 today. His agents and his team, whatever, were after Aaron Rodgers went down. They were saying, "Hey, our boy Colin's still available, even though he hasn't played in forever."
I know. I for whatever. I hope he won't, but I hope he will land a gig because he's still working out. He's still staying in shape. He's still every day doing the NFL protocol for a quarterback workout. So,
is there anyone that truly believes in their heart of hearts that Colin Kaepernick was not blackballed?
Oh, of course he was. I mean,
because you can agree, you can disagree with the political stances that he took, and God knows I disagreed with a couple of them, and the ways in which he went about them. But the NFL, the owners, they absolutely, they did it, but they're very smart about it.
Yeah.
They absolutely said, we're not hiring that guy. We're not bringing him in. And they just do a really good job of, not putting it in writing.
All he has to do to get a job back in the NFL is just go on some kind of weird roid rage and punch a chick. And then
the shield flies open for him.
Yeah, that's what they'll do. They don't mind. You can take no political stance, but domestic violence is okay. That's what basically the NFL says.
Time and again, you're not wrong. I mean, there are many cases that prove that.
I used to. There was one year that the Cowboys. I was like, "What is this? The longest yard? Like, how many felons do we have?" On
You know
this
what though? I
team?
think that was an interesting phase that Jerry Jones went through. He was like, you know what? Maybe we do have too many nice guys on the team. Maybe we do need to, as they say, get some dogs in here.
Yeah, let's just turn this into a halfway house for parolees.
And they still didn't win. So
What was the one? He was like a defensive lineman, and he was
Greg Hardy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was the one where there was the video of him throwing his girlfriend, domestic violence, assault allegation, and him throwing her down on his bed full of weapons.
Yeah.
And I think he fought in an MMA match. And I think he got laid out in like 10 seconds.
I believe that's at least partially correct.
And then what was the guy in the elevator? Who was that?
Ray Rice.
Ray Rice.
Yeah.
And then Tyreek Hill. I mean, like, you name it.
Oh, you lose count of all those throughout the years, but
Yeah.
you can't say the Cowboys haven't tried.
I mean, the Cowboys, the corrections department, they both kind of working.
Hey,
hand
look,
in
you know
hand.
what? When you're trying to win a Super Bowl, you leave no rock unturned. You got to find talent anywhere you can.
No pistol unwhipped.
You're in the Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
See, that there is the rare crossover from the football podcast into the regular podcast. But worth every second.
And happy birthday, Kendall Jenner.
You're listening to The Treehouse. Visit us online at treehouseonair.com.
This segment of the Treehouse is brought to you by Brooks Plumbing. Brooks Plumbing. For any and all of your plumbing wants and needs, call 214-368-3838. That's 214-368-3838 or the website brooksplumbingtexas.com. brooksplumbingtexas.com. You guys want to do a couple more birthdays and then do some stupid news?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. Gonna fade that bad boy out and bring this one up. There we go. That's how it works. Other birthdays today. On Friday, November 3rd, 2023. We've already gone through Kendall Jenner, 28, Colin Kaepernick, 36, Dolph Lundgren. So we have a big leap here, 30-year leap of celebrities. Dolph Lundgren turned 66 today.
Wow.
As Ivan Drago in the Rocky universe. Because
Didn't they when they
Wars and the Fast and the Furious and Lord of the Rings, it's its own, the Rocky verse is a thing.
But didn't they when they made the first time they tried to make the Punisher movie? Wasn't he the first one? Dolph Lundgren back in the day.
I don't know.
I think so. I think he was. But he is the gift that MIT gave us. If you know the story, he's a genius, like legitimately Mensa genius, and he was on his way to MIT and stopped in LA to visit a buddy from, I believe he's from Sweden, and stopped to visit a buddy in LA on his way to his pursuing his academics at MIT, and was spotted by a talent agent, and the rest is Rocky IV history.
It really is. It's a classic Hollywood story where a Hollywood agent guy sees a 6'6" blonde muscular Adonis and goes, "Hey, so you got to put you in the big pictures."
He's like, "I must break you." And they're like, "What?"
That's exactly the line I need in the next film. Come on, kid. I'll make you a star.
I don't know why this guy's from the 1920s.
Was that one of the plots of one of the Creed movies? Is that like his son?
Yeah,
I believe so, because now, full disclosure here, I've only seen the first Creed, which was really good, and I have every intention of seeing the next two. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what it was, wasn't it? It just, you had Apollo's son, and now he's going to face off of, Drago's kid.
Well, that was the last movie. That's the last movie. That's the one that Stallone's not in, right? Yes.
Yeah. I know that Dolph Lundgren was in, obviously, Rocky IV, and I know it says that he was in Creed 2. I'm not sure if there was what the third plot was.
Okay, because which one's the one? Stallone's not in. That's when
You're thinking Rocky 5, which was still. Well, no,
No,
I'm sorry.
no.
He was in Rocky 5. Sorry, I was thinking.
No,
about
because
I thought the last-
Michael B. Jordan took over basically the Creed
Right.
franchise.
Well, I know one of the reasons why he wasn't in the third one is evidently. Now I'm drawing a blank on his name. The one that was Michael B. Johnson's opponent that got in trouble for domestic violence.
Yes.
Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Stallone would not work with him.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Because it was posed to him, hey, now that Jonathan Majors isn't part of the franchise, would you go back to it? And he goes, yeah.
Okay, maybe that's what it was. I know that because he wrote the Creed movies as well. So Stallone, and this one, the third one with the brother, he did not write, and he did not like the angle that it was going. So, and then I guess on top of that, he didn't like that actor. But yeah, Dolph Lundgren's great in the Expendables. They're every single one of them. He's fantastic, and good for him. That's a great career resurgence because much like William Zabka, like he was just the bad guy, always and everything. And so I know they try to do that character rebrand with him. I think he was the first Punisher. And they tried to do a little character rebrand for him, and it didn't work. And I think he just kind of went off the grid. I think he was just doing like basically Comic-Cons and stuff like that for the longest time.
I don't think it's possible for Dolph Lundgren to go off of any grid. He's so big, and you are correct. He was the first Punisher. When you type in who was the first Punisher movie, Dolph Lundgren, 2004.
See, not just a hat rack. Yeah, and that was a kind of a rebrand for him. Because they were trying to get him into that universe, that comic book like universe or whatever. And I don't think it worked.
I think one of the great ironies, like you mentioned, he was great in the Expendables. To me, the Expendables movies are obviously it's just action porn fan service to action film lovers because it's all your favorite guys from all these different action films doing actiony things with minimal storyline to get in the way of the explosions and the fights and things. But it's also one of those few franchises that in the film, they could literally have one of their characters jump a shark and it would still be cool.
Yeah.
It would be true in the Expendables movies and absolutely if it hasn't already happened in the Fast and the Furious movies.
Yeah, because like Lundgren would jump the shark and then punch it and it would die. And then he would just go Apollo and then just keep jumping. Like it would be spectacular and Stallone would be like cut and it would be great. But I can't wait for the. And is there a Rocky's? Is this right? Because I saw a poster for this, or is it just like that Rocky universe doing it like Rocky 7, One More Fight? Is that?
I thought that was the premise of Rocky 6. Like each film is one last time. It's kind of like it's kind of like the Eagles or Kiss saying this is our last tour. Okay.
Yeah, but I keep seeing posters for it.
I thought Stallone had said he is retired Rocky and Rambo.
Is there Rocky franchise producer has not happened yet. It's due to complications from the franchise producer, but it is on hold. And it's
so it's something that is a maybe. I mean, at some point, it's just going to end up, like Rocky's grandkids fighting Drago's grandkids, and the story will continue in perpetuity.
Yes. Okay, so I think it's supposed to be one more fight. I'm like, how many? Didn't he have brain cancer in one? Like in one?
Yeah, but I think it got punched out of him.
That would have been great for Schwarzenegger to be in that movie, just to bring back that line where he punches Rocky's tumor. I was like, not a tumor, and just hit him.
It's actually a 2-on-1 fight, so it's Rocky versus Ivan Drago and the Terminator. Rocky 9, cancer puncher.
Hope it's not rectal.
And that show. No news for you.
Talk about a tush push.
Yeah. I know certain corners of the internet, Trey, where you can find exactly that. You've really got to be careful when you're doing Eagles research. You type in tush push on the wrong website. Oh, that is a punchline. It keeps on giving. All right, we'll see you on Monday in the Treehouse, including the Treehouse Plus episode. Go to patreon.com/Treehouse on air. Get signed up for that. You get a bonus episode each week right here inside the Treehouse. See you next time.
See ya.
See. And here's my mechanic. Yeah.
I hope it's not rectal.